Assalamu alaikum. So if you're a Western Muslim that's been considering Hijrah to Indonesia, you've probably been considering, is this actually right for you? So, Alhamdulillah, I myself made Hijrah to Indonesia. And what I'm going to do is talk about who is it actually right for, who is it not right for, so you can make a more informed decision, inshallah. So, number one is you want practicing deen to feel easier. Now, any Muslim, they want practicing deen to feel easier, and Alhamdulillah, Indonesia does give you that. Now, the reason I mention this because it may seem so obvious. Like obviously, every Muslim wants practicing deen to be easier. However, some people want it more than others. So what I mean by this is you actually really want it. It's like it's not just like, oh yeah, that'd be nice. It's like I really want practicing deen to feel easier because you're probably getting fed up of the West. Now, you've got a place to pray absolutely everywhere. Now, this is so huge. Like I've planned to go back to the West just to see family in not too long. And me thinking about, oh yeah, how am I going to pray and stuff? I'm thinking, how does someone live like this? Like I'm only going back for a week, but I'm thinking like, how am I going to navigate this? Now, you've got a place to pray everywhere. You go to a restaurant, there's generally going to be a place to pray within the restaurant, or at least there's going to be like multiple mashes within like a 5-minute walk. You go to the dentist, like for example, I went to the dentist the other day, and there's literally a musalla, a place to pray within the dentist. Hospital, same thing they use. I went to the hospital like a couple of weeks ago, and you've literally got an entire masjid within the hospital. There was like 30, 40 brothers praying after in there with a proper established imam and stuff inside the hospital. Like, alhamdulillah, it's so good. You go to the mall, there'll be like multiple musallas in every single mall. And even without that, you've got a masjid everywhere. You've got a masjid within about a 5-minute walk of absolutely everywhere. It's just so beautiful. It's so, so beautiful. And I can't imagine, like I could never go and live in a non-Muslim country having experienced this. Like I could not imagine how it would feel to live somewhere where you've not got a place to pray everywhere. Like what would you even do? Or what are you actually going to do? You're just going to pray on the side of the road or something like what are you actually going to do? I can't fathom that. But yeah, alhamdulillah, like the reason I've not experienced it is because I was living in Thailand when I became Muslim, and then I moved to a Muslim majority country straight away. So just for a bit more context, now halal food everywhere as well. So you've got halal food everywhere. So basically like almost all the food's halal, unless you go to like some specific Chinese pork restaurant, which like you're not going to just stumble across this. Like you'd have to have specifically gone there, but it's all halal. Like you order groceries, it's all halal. You go to any restaurant, it's halal because everyone's Muslim, so it literally has to be. So alhamdulillah, that's beautiful. No more making wudu in some awkward public toilets. Like if I go back to visit family in the West, I've got to be there making wudu in some public toilet if I'm out in public. Like people are looking at you like, why have you got your feet in the sink? Like it's not the best. It's not the best, is it? But alhamdulillah, you've got a place to make wudu everywhere because you've got a place to pray everywhere. So there's going to be a proper wudu place everywhere. So and yeah, people aren't obviously going to be thinking, what's this person doing? You're trying to rush wudu while someone's coming before someone comes in and stuff like this. Like you don't have any of this stuff. There's no more asking. You don't have to go to the restaurant and ask, is the food halal? And then they're like looking at you weird, like what does halal mean? Or maybe sometimes they say yes when it's not actually. None of this, alhamdulillah. No more struggling to fit in your prayers, like you're going about your day in the West struggling to fit in the prayers. Rather, you actually hear multiple adans for every single prayer, and you've got a masjid within 5-minute walk. It's not like it's some big friction, like you've got to drive 20 minutes to a masjid like within the West. And alhamdulillah, you've just got a masjid everywhere. So you can go out you go on a day out anywhere. You don't have a thought of, okay, am I going to be able to pray? What am I going to do? You've literally got the adhan everywhere. You've got a place to pray everywhere. It's so, so, so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And the benefits of this don't sink in until you move to a Muslim majority country and then you go back to visit a non-Muslim country. They don't sink in until you do that. So yeah, no more public alcohol. So you don't see people in pubs. You don't see pubs. You don't see people drinking alcohol in the streets like it is everywhere in the West. None of this, alhamdulillah. You don't get any of those negatives which come from alcohol, like all this violence, shouting around, all this stuff. Alhamdulillah, I've never seen alcohol once in public, which is beautiful. No drugs. You don't smell people smoking certain drugs. You don't see people doing harder drugs like in the UK, which is very, very rampant, and the US, Canada, etc. There's lots of public drug use. So you're going to be walking around the town centre with your family and there's people doing drugs. Like, this is not okay. Alhamdulillah, you don't have that here. Immoralities, like there's every immorality basically that exists is going on within the West publicly now even. So alhamdulillah, it's just so much better in this realm. Obviously the biggest benefit is for our deen. That's why we make Hijrah. So yeah, you're no longer surrounded by kuffar, by disbelievers, by people who openly hate Islam. You're not surrounded by these people. Now, if you're a man, it's not as bad. But if you've got a wife, you've got kids and stuff, how are you going to be around kuffar that hate Muslims? And then your wife's obviously they're visibly Muslim. How are you going to be around the kuffar? And just being around them in general is not a good thing because they're obviously their beliefs is not it's not in accordance to Islam. Like what's the most important for us as Muslims is our tawheed, and if we're around people that don't share that, they don't believe in God, it's just not it's not the place we want to be. Almost everyone is Muslim. You're walking around, you go up to the masjid, everyone's greeting you with salam, assalamu alaikum. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Alhamdulillah. So yeah. Number two is if you have online income or investments or savings. So online of each of these, online income, online investments, online savings, generally, well, not generally, but 100% of the brothers that I know that have made the move, they are in this category. They have one of these three or multiple of these three. So not one of them gets a job is the point. Not one of them comes over and they get an Indonesian job. I don't know anyone that's done that. Of course, there is people that have come and got a job, but I don't know anyone who's done that. Yeah, nor do they come and set up like some little business, or they come and set up a car washing business or something like this. Like this, I've just never seen it. It's not common. The average salary here is some reasons that go into it. The average salary is $170 per month. Average salary $170 per month. Like that's getting you nothing. Like that's just not even paying your bills in the West. Like so yeah, anyway, they are the fourth most populated country in the world. Indonesia has a very big population. I think it's around about 290 million people. So it's very difficult for Indonesians to get a job in the first place. So that means the government has to put a very high barrier to hiring a foreigner, because Indonesians are obviously going to be angry if the companies are hiring foreigners over their own people. So yeah, it is very difficult, which means companies, they have to prove to the government and whatnot that they could not hire this specific job that you're going to be trying to get. They couldn't get it from an Indonesian, which unless you're coming in as some absolute specialist, you're not really going to do it. You're not going to prove, unless you've got like a very clear skill, like you're a very high skilled doctor, but even still, they've got loads of doctors here. But if you're coming in with some absolute specialist skill, okay, maybe, but likelihood is you're not. And likelihood is if you had that special skill, you could go somewhere else and you could, like a Muslim majority country, and you'd be in a much better position. So the point, basically, no one really gets a job here. So yeah, setting up a foreign-owned company as well. So do people really come and set up just a business? Like they'll come and like a car washing business, this type of physical business, come and set up a plumbing business, etc. No, not really. It requires $150,000 initial deposit. So you initially have to deposit that to set up the company, with the plan to do up to 650,000 within a couple of years. So that is a big barrier to a lot of businesses for a lot of people. And setting up a business here in Indonesia, like a physical type business, it's just not really the greatest option. It's really not the greatest option. So yeah, many people, they just don't do that. Some people, maybe they'll buy property or they'll buy land as investments, etc. But yeah, basically that falls into income, investments, and savings. So yeah, if you're in that position, then Indonesia probably is more suitable to you. So number three is you also want to get married. So almost all the brothers, almost is 100% of the brothers I know that made Hijrah here, they also got married here. So yeah, Indonesia really is one of the best places to marry, alhamdulillah, for so many brothers. For so many brothers, it's exactly what they're looking for, pretty much. So you've got very strong family values, you've got very feminine women, you've got a Islamic environment, and there's many more reasons. But yeah, alhamdulillah, Indonesia is fantastic to get married. You also get residency through marriage. So yeah, when you make Hijrah here, you're going to be around your wife's family as well. So it does make more sense to say, like, if you're going to get married in a place, you've got more of a reason to make Hijrah to this specific place. So yeah, if you want my help getting married here, that's what I did, and I help other brothers do the same. You can go to the top link in the description, and inshallah I can help you do so. So talking about who should not, so who does it not make sense for? So talking about who does it not make sense for, it is if you want to get a job. So I've never seen a single Western Muslim come over here and get a job. So yeah, some people, they may say, yeah, teach English. You could go and teach English there. Sure, it's an option, but the salary is still so low. Like you're gonna get paid more than the average Indonesian, sure, if you're teaching English at a proper private institute, but you're gonna still be getting paid like $700 per month. which you could go to basically most other Muslim majority countries. You go Egypt, you go Saudi, you go the Gulf, blah, blah, blah. You could go to all these different places and you're going to earn a lot more. So, um, yeah, I mean, just getting a job here, like nobody does it really. Like it's not the place to go for that. So yeah, you're in a country that heavily prioritizes high. And also another point on that is that almost no one speaks English. Like 10%, less than 10% of the population can speak English. None of the jobs are going to be speaking English. You'd have to become fluent in Indonesian. You'd have to prove like there'd have to be proof that they couldn't hire an Indonesian for it, and it's just not likely at all. So yeah. Yeah, you're in a country that heavily prioritizes its own people, hiring its own people. You're dependent on the job for your salary and your visa. So let's say it's already bad enough if you're like people think that a job is some sort of secure thing, but if you lose the job, you've lost your income. They just sack you one day, you've lost your income. But with this, it's double. You've lost. Not only are you going to lose your job, you're also going to lose your visa as well. You've lost your job and you're told get out within 7 days, like or however many days they give you, but it's not the greatest situation to be in, to be dependent on a single job for your salary and your visa, and it's also one of the lowest salaries in the world as well. So yeah, inshallah, you get the gist that coming to Indonesia for a job is just really not the best option. Maybe you go to Malaysia, maybe Malaysia's more open to it, and they are more open to it. So yeah, if you're in this position, save up 7K. So yeah, if you're in a position where you want to make Hijrah to Indonesia, but the only option you can kind of think of right now is getting a job, if you are in that position. So what I would recommend is, this is if you're not married yet, you don't have kids or anything. This is if you're a single and you just want to make Hijrah. Save up $7,000 by whatever means. So if you're in the West, this is not difficult. You just start spending less, or you just get an extra job by whatever means. You know you could save $7,000. Save this $7,000 by whatever means. And yeah, fly to a Muslim majority country, whether it's Indonesia, whether it's Malaysia, whether it's Egypt, blah, blah, blah. Go to a Muslim majority country, a cheap Muslim majority country, which is actually most of them. And then you've got a year's worth of expenses. So why do I say $7,000? I say it because let's give it $1,000 for your flights over here, which is probably going to be less for many, but anyway, $1,000 for your flights. And then $6,000 is more than enough to cover a year's worth of expenses. So could you not make an online business or an online stream of income that gets you to at least $1,000 per month? If you've got a whole year, you dedicate an entire year, you're in a Muslim majority country, it's very likely you're going to be able to get to at least $1,000 per month online, and probably more likely you're going to get a lot more. So fly over, have a whole year. What's the best case? It's that you make Hijrah, you've now got an online stream of income, you're in a Muslim majority country, and then you can just continue to stay and continue to make the online income. Worst case, you just go back to what you was doing. It's a very good risk to reward. So yeah, inshallah, instead of just me giving like, no, you shouldn't do it, I thought I'd give a solution for the people that are willing to do that. Some people, maybe they're not. Some people, maybe they're so fixed in this mindset, no, I should get a job. In which case, probably going elsewhere is going to be the best option for you. So yeah, number 2 of who should not is you've got responsibilities tied to the West. So for example, if you have a mother where she's sick, she really needs caring for, and you're the only person that can do so, that you don't have siblings that can help around and stuff, if the decision is you take care of her in the West, or you leave her, like you literally leave her and make Hijrah, then of course staying is going to be the best option, or at least trying to bring her. First thing, obviously try bringing her, but I know for some situations that's just not really a possibility, in which case staying with your mother is going to be better. If you have kids in the West with your previous wife, so let's say you see your kids twice a week, whatever it is, in the West, and it's your previous wife, so you don't have the sort of authority to be like, okay, we're going to go. Stay and raise them is what I would recommend. Rather than leaving your kids, staying to raise them is very important. So yeah, you have a business that requires your physical presence. So some brothers, they'll have a physical business, like whatever it is, they'll have a physical business within the West. And yeah, what's the solution? Not just give up and not just stay with your business. Rather, try and find a way to outsource yourself, because realistically, it's very doable. Like whatever skill you've got, there's someone else that can do the same skill. Even if it means training them, even if it means training someone for months and months and months until you know that this person's very, very good, then outsource your physical presence, whereby the business is still running without you physically being there, even if you're still doing a bit online. And you may end up trying that and realizing that your presence at all within the business isn't necessary, in which case you've literally just freed yourself from the business, or you sell the company, which some brothers, they'll sell their foreign company, whether it's because they they can't outsource themselves, or they simply want to completely cut all the ties from the West and then leave. So yeah, if you want help getting married here, so like I mentioned, a lot of people that make Hijrah, most of them, they will also get married here. If you want to do that, you can click the top link in the description, and inshallah I can help you get married here. And then if you would just like to gain clarity on your situation regarding Hijrah and or marriage to Indonesia, click the second link, and inshallah we'll get on a call and I'll be able to be a benefit to you. So yeah, inshallah this has been a benefit to many brothers. So yeah, assalamu alaikum.